Hello and welcome to this video, which is all about what can you do if you feel you talk too fast. Now, this was actually a requested topic from a lady that was watching one of my other videos. And I just want to say right now, I'm always very, very happy to take on board any requests and to create content that is actually going to really help you. So I hope that this video is going to help many people, because I think this is something that lots of people struggle with. I think from my perspective, this whole idea of speaking fast sort of falls into two camps. So you're either someone that speaks fast all the time, and you'll probably find if that's you, you do everything fast. You walk fast, you talk fast, you eat fast, you've got a lot of energy, perhaps a lot of nervous energy. You might find it hard to sit still. And then there are people, and I think a lot of us fall into this camp, when we're nervous, we tend to talk faster. And of course, when we're public speaking, we're likely to be nervous, so we're likely to speak faster. And that's probably the one time where we do want to try and slow down so that our audience can follow us. Having said that, I am a great believer in varying speaking pace. So you might want to talk fast if there's a particular reason, you're telling a story and it makes sense. But you are also capable of slowing your speech down too. So you're able to vary it and use the pace to make sense with what you're saying. So I'm going to share 5 tips, tools that you can use. Take what you like, try them all, try 1, try 2, see what happens. But I do think if you actually utilize them all and you practice them, you will notice a difference. So number 1 is breathe. And this sounds so simple to say breathe, but what tends to happen when we get nervous is our breathing gets faster and it gets shallower. And we end up sort of gasping for air because we're breathing so shallow, it tends to be like sips of air. If we can actually train ourselves to breathe in that lower, slower, deeper place, it actually kind of helps to ground us and also to kind of settle the voice too. So this is something that you don't really want to wait until you're in a situation where you're nervous. It's something that you want to start practicing. And then when you are in a public speaking situation or a speaking situation where you feel anxious, you can just actually tune in and just bring your breath back to that deeper belly place, because I can guarantee your breathing will get faster when you speak faster. So the easy way to do this is, obviously you can't see my belly, but put your hands on your belly, and as you breathe out, I want you to suck your belly in. So you're and then as you breathe in, allow the belly to pop out. So you really want to allow the belly to move. So it's kind of popping out and then you're pulling it in, and then it's popping out and you're pulling it in, and just start to get used to that movement, because for so many of us, we're used to taking little short sips of gasps of air from the sort of upper chest area. And apart from anything else, you'll find that you run out of air so much quicker. Again, that's another thing I hear when people are nervous, that they run out of breath. So all of it, if you think about the nerves and everything else, if we can deepen the breath, if we can actually just do a few rounds of sort of very calming, deep belly breath before we're about to go into a speaking situation, it just helps to sort of anchor the voice and remind us that this is the sort of the power source of the breath and the power source of the voice. So hands on belly. As you breathe out, pull the belly in. As you breathe in, let the tummy swell. Now, you'll probably notice that I was breathing in through my nostrils, which, if you can do that too, is just going to help to kind of calm the nervous system as well. So it's a really, really good practice to get into. But as I said, don't kind of wait until you're in a situation where you're nervous. You need to practice this before, particularly if it's not something that you're used to doing. So number 2 is to articulate intentionally. And this was actually one of the comments I gave to this lady, because often When people speak fast, they're not articulating clearly. Now, it's not impossible to speak fast and articulate clearly, but it requires more dexterity and it requires more agility in the voice. So you absolutely can learn to speak fast clearly, but if you're not trained and it's not something you've really ever given much thought to, the chances are a fast voice means a less clear voice. And maybe, you know, if you listen back, you might find that you actually mumble a little bit, or maybe your speech is a little bit mushy. So you have to sort of practice slowing down the speech first so that you can articulate more clearly, and then you can again start to increase the pace if you want to, while maintaining that clarity. So that's number 2. I'll put the link to the video below where I talked all about how to articulate more intentionally. Number 3 is use deliberate pauses. Pauses serve many functions, but one function, a really important function in public speaking, is they serve the function of punctuation. So if you're just randomly sort of pausing when you are gasping for air and running out of breath, you're not really fully utilizing the purpose of that pause. Try and be as deliberate as you can with your pause. Where would you naturally put a comma or a full stop, or would it be a new paragraph? Bring some deliberate pauses into your speech, and then it forces you to slow down. It forces you to at least take a breath and give yourself the space to take a breath. Now, number 4, this is an interesting one, and this is one that you could do at home, but you might, if you're someone like myself that likes walking, you can do this while you're walking. So what you want to try and do is match your speaking pace to your walking pace. So if you're someone, as presumably you are if you're watching this video, that you feel you talk too fast, walk really slowly and match your speaking pace to your walking pace. So if you're walking like this, see if, and it's a bit painful, but then you can start to speed up the pace and see if you can talk a little bit faster. So you can play around with this. And if you're someone that goes on long walks like me, you could deliberately, I mean, you might look a bit weird, but hopefully no one will be paying that much attention to you. Vary your walking pace, and in your mind, speak something in your mind, and see if you can match that walking pace to your speaking pace. And notice, you know, if you are someone that talks really fast, notice how much harder you find it to slow down. And again, it's just something you have to practice. Number 5 is to record yourself. The reason I say this too is because what we hear in our head isn't what others hear. And I would go another step further in saying sometimes when people listen back, they're actually surprised at how much better their voice sounds, sometimes worse. But when you're doing these exercises, so when you're going through, you know, practicing the pauses and varying the sort of pace and deliberately speaking slower, record yourself, because you may be surprised that what you think sounds really slow in your head actually really works. And the only way you're going to know is to listen back, because you may find that slowing down your speech, actually you think, you know what, when I slow down my speech, I can actually connect more with people. People can actually absorb my words. They can think about what I'm saying versus me just rushing through all the time. So record yourself, listen back, vary your pace. You could do this while you're doing your walking exercise if you're doing it at home. But I really, really encourage you to listen to an audio, and listen to an audio, because if you listen to a video, you'll be distracted by what you look like and what's going on behind you. So listen to an audio. So I just want to leave you with a final point, because as a Jungian coach, a big part of my work with clients is not only the sort of technical side and the functional side and mechanical side of voice, but it's also the voice psychology. And so what I want you to ask yourself, because when we speak fast, there's something that it's protecting us from. We don't speak fast sort of randomly. We may think that it's just a random habit we've picked up, but there's normally an emotional reason, an emotional kind of protection around it. So one of the questions I want you to ask yourself is, by me speaking fast, how does that protect me? what's the kind of payoff for me speaking fast? And you might think that's a really weird question to ask. So I'm just going to throw a couple of scenarios out at you and take what resonates with you, and, you know, go away and journal about this, go away and think about what this is for you. One scenario, and I see this quite a bit, is if I talk slower, people won't listen and people will interrupt me. And so by me talking fast, I almost don't give people an opportunity to kind of butt in and interrupt me. So there's almost a feeling of not really perhaps believing that people really want to listen to you, and for you to kind of own that stage when you speak. So does that ring any sort of truth for you? The other side of this too is sometimes people talk fast because they don't actually think they've got anything of value to add, value to share. And so if I just talk fast, I just get it out quickly, and then I can give someone else an opportunity to speak. So this won't necessarily be conscious to you. So you might be thinking initially, no, that's not me, but it won't be conscious. So you have to really tap into, what is this speaking fast really emotionally protecting me from? And it does take a little bit of work, and you might want to journal, you might want to meditate on it. So I hope that's helped. Please do post any comments below. And if you have any videos you'd like me to do in the future, also do let me know. But until next time, I will see you on another video.